Now, sports coverage in the Panhandle spirit with Lee Baker.
Hello, everyone. The final Sunday of the NFL season saw a host of teams battling to stay alive for the postseason. A whole lot of possibilities for playoff pairings depending on the outcome of some of the day's games. No such issue for Dallas. The Cowboys visiting the New York Giants. The winner would earn the NFC East title, get to host the first-round playoff game. The loser done for the year. If the Pokes hadn't blown that 12-point lead over New York with 5 minutes to play 3 weeks ago in Dallas, tonight's game would be meaningless. No such luck. The game is still underway at the Meadowlands. Let's go to the scoreboard and show you that it ain't good if you're a Cowboy fan. They were down 21-0, got up to 21-14, but then the Giants have just turned around and scored 10 quick points. Looks like the season's probably going to end. No such issues for the Houston Texans. No matter the outcome of today's game, the Texans could not improve their playoff standing, knowing they would host a first-round game. Tennessee in Houston needing to win help from the other 3 teams to perhaps get into the playoffs. They return to Houston, of all things, next week. They got one part of the equation, but not the other. Let's go to some highlights and show you early on. Down in Houston, it's Ben Tate who scores a touchdown from 4 yards out, rambling into everybody. It was 7-0 at this point in favor of Houston. A little bit later, quarterback T.J. Yates got hurt. He did not come back. He could have, according to the coach, but he was replaced by Jake Delhomme. And this is not good, Jake. He sacked Tennessee 9 yards, and it's recovered by the Titans' Chris Hope. They have lots of hope. A little bit later, it is Matt Hasselbeck with the pass to Donnie Avery for a touchdown. And at this point, it was 10-7 in favor of the Titans. We go to the fourth quarter. And after recovering a fumble, 3rd and goal for Houston, the touchdown pass by Delhomme to Bryant Johnson makes it a 1-point game. So then Gary Kubiak decides to go for the win and not the tie. Watch this. After a penalty moved him back to the 7, the snap goes over the quarterback's head. The final score, Titans going to win 23-22. And after the game, the Texans talked about going for the win and no overtime.
I mean, you would never go for 2 there in any other situation, but where we were physically today, at the end of the game, I had a tight end playing Sam linebacker, John. So for our football team, I had to get them to next week, and so my mindset the whole way was to try to win the football game.
It's a young, hungry football team that works. And I know I haven't been here long, but last week on that practice field, watching guys fly around, you saw how important. And I know we played a bunch of guys today, but this team is going to be ready. And sometimes, innocence is bliss. Sometimes, I mean, this team's going to play well.
All right, let's go through all the numbers on the last day. Chicago beat Minnesota. New Orleans going to the playoffs. They win. The next page, Green Bay wins a shootout over Detroit. They're going, so San Francisco. The New England Patriots rally to win. There's the Miami Dolphins ruining the Jets' season. Indy gets the first pick after losing to Jacksonville. Philly wins. San Diego ruins Oakland. Kansas City beat Denver. Denver lost 3 straight games. They're still going to the playoffs. Arizona wins in overtime. Atlanta wins. They're going to the playoffs. So is Baltimore, so is Cincy, and so is Cleveland. Here are the pairings. It's going to be New York Giants hosting Atlanta because the Giants are going to beat the Cowboys. Detroit goes to New Orleans. And in the AFC, it's Cincinnati coming to Houston, and Pittsburgh has to go to Denver. All right, from football, we go to the NBA. The Mavericks still struggling to start this season in Minnesota tonight. Jason Kidd with a three-pointer, 9-6 Mavs first quarter. And then later, one of the new pickups, Lamar Odom, will make a 24-foot three-pointer, and we're tied at 23. We go to the second quarter. Vince Carter, another one of the offseason signings. He's old, but he can still do this off the jam, the steal. And then later, Kevin Love, who had a big night, he puts the Timberwolves up 9 here, the final score. And the Mavericks are 1-4 on the season. They lose by 17. They're only down by 5 going into the fourth quarter. All right, some final items. College football takes over tomorrow with 6 bowl games, starting with the Ticket City Bowl, noon in Dallas. You can see the Outback Bowl right here on Channel 7 tomorrow at noon. Also, the Capital One Bowl kicks off coverage on ESPN at the same time, followed by the Gator Bowl, then the Rose, and finally the Fiesta. Of course, that game features Oklahoma State and Stanford, a preview of the 2 hotshot quarterbacks in that game on tomorrow's early sports. And speaking of QBs, reports out of Waco say that the Heisman Trophy winner Robert Griffin III will declare for the NFL Draft perhaps as early as Wednesday or Thursday. And tomorrow, the National Hockey League will hold its Outdoor Winter Classic. Philadelphia hosts the New York Rangers. That game has been moved back a couple of hours due to weather conditions. Last year they played, I think, in New England or Pittsburgh, and it rained.
Oh. Well, and it was raining a little bit in Dallas tonight, right?
And maybe raining in Philly tomorrow. Who knows?
Oh, well, we'll see.
We'll have to check with the weather person.
Yeah, speaking.
She'll know.
Yeah. And she's in next with a little much check of your forecast.